billions of dollars move across the internet every day. Every time someone buys something online, a subscription, a product, a ticket, a meal, a payment has to be processed. The money has to move from the buyer's bank account or card to the seller's account, securely, instantly, and reliably. Most consumers never think about how that happens. It feels invisible. But behind almost every online payment is a layer of financial infrastructure that someone built, someone maintains, and someone charges for. And one company has positioned itself at the center of that infrastructure more successfully than almost any other. Stripe processes hundreds of billions of dollars in payments every year for millions of businesses around the world. It does not sell a consumer product. It does not have retail customers. Most people who have paid through Stripe have never seen its name. And yet, it generates billions in revenue annually, from a fee structure so simple it can be described in a single sentence. Every time a business processes a payment through Stripe, Stripe takes a small percentage of the transaction. To understand how Stripe makes money, you need to understand what payment processing actually involves. When a customer enters their card details on a website and clicks pay, a sequence of events happens in fractions of a second. The payment information is encrypted and transmitted to a payment processor. The processor communicates with the card network, Visa, MasterCard, or another, which routes the request to the customer's bank. The bank verifies that the funds are available, approves or declines the transaction, and sends the response back through the same chain. The funds are then reserved and eventually transferred to the merchant's account. This entire process involves multiple parties, multiple systems, and multiple points where errors, fraud, or failures can occur. Before companies like Stripe existed, integrating this process into a website or application was genuinely complex. Businesses had to establish relationships with acquiring banks, integrate with payment gateways, maintain security compliance, and manage the technical complexity of handling financial transactions across different card networks and currencies. For large companies with dedicated engineering teams, this was manageable. For small businesses, startups, and independent developers, it was a significant barrier. Stripe removed that barrier. It packaged the entire payment infrastructure into a set of software tools, an API, which stands for Application Programming Interface, that developers could integrate into any website or application in hours rather than months. The technical complexity of payment processing was abstracted away behind a clean, well-documented interface. A business using Stripe does not need to understand how card networks work, how funds are settled, or how to maintain compliance with payment security standards. Stripe handles all of that. The business simply integrates Stripe's tools and starts accepting payments. The revenue model is built directly on top of this utility. Stripe's standard pricing charges a percentage of each transaction, plus a small fixed fee per transaction. For most online card payments, this is a percentage in the range of 2 to 3%, plus a fixed amount of a few cents. The exact rate varies by country, by payment method, and by the specific product or arrangement a business has with Stripe. But the structure is consistent, a fee applied to every transaction, calculated as a combination of a percentage and a flat amount. The financial logic of this pricing is straightforward. When a small business processes a modest volume of payments each month, the fees are modest. As the business grows and processes more transactions, the absolute amount paid to Stripe grows proportionally. A business processing $1 million in payments per month at a blended rate of 2.9% is paying Stripe roughly $29,000 per month. A business processing $10 million is paying roughly $290,000. Stripe's revenue scales automatically with the commercial success of the businesses it serves, without any renegotiation, without any manual billing, and without any change to the underlying service. This is the core of why the model works. Stripe's revenue is not fixed. It is a percentage of the economic activity flowing through its platform. As the businesses it serves grow, Stripe's revenue grows with them. As more businesses join the platform, the total volume of transactions processed increases, and revenue increases proportionally. The relationship between Stripe's growth and the growth of its customers is direct and automatic. Stripe has also built a significant portfolio of additional products that sit on top of its core payment processing infrastructure. Stripe Billing handles recurring subscription payments, the automatic monthly charges that subscription businesses depend on. Stripe Radar is a fraud detection product that uses machine learning to identify and block fraudulent transactions. Stripe Connect is a product designed specifically for marketplace platforms and platforms that need to route payments between multiple parties, enabling a company like a freelance marketplace to accept a payment from a client and automatically split and distribute it to the relevant service provider, with Stripe taking a fee at each step. Stripe Atlas helps startups incorporate as legal business entities and set up their financial infrastructure, generating revenue through a one-time fee. Stripe Treasury offers banking-as-a-service products that allow platforms to offer their own financial accounts to their users. Stripe Issuing allows businesses to create and manage their own physical and virtual payment cards. Each of these products addresses a specific financial infrastructure need, and each generates its own revenue stream, either through transaction fees, monthly fees, or usage-based pricing. The breadth of this product portfolio reflects a deliberate strategic direction. Stripe began as a payment processor, but it has steadily expanded into adjacent financial infrastructure needs, becoming a platform that businesses can build their entire financial operations on, rather than simply a tool for accepting card payments. Each additional product deepens the relationship between Stripe and its customers, increases the switching cost of moving to a competitor, and creates additional revenue opportunities from businesses that are already inside the platform. What makes this model scalable is the nature of software infrastructure. The core technology Stripe has built, the payment processing engine, the fraud detection systems, the API infrastructure, does not need to be rebuilt for each new customer. A startup that signs up for Stripe today immediately has access to the same infrastructure that processes payments for some of the largest companies in the world. The marginal cost of adding a new customer to Stripe's platform is extremely low. But that customer immediately begins generating transaction fee revenue from their first payment processed. Geographic expansion works similarly. Stripe has invested heavily in obtaining the regulatory licenses, banking relationships, and local payment method integrations required to operate in markets around the world. Each new market requires upfront investment in compliance and infrastructure. But once established, the same platform serves businesses in that market, and the same fee structure applies to every transaction. Revenue from international markets scales with the volume of commerce flowing through them, not with the ongoing cost of maintaining the local presence. The data Stripe accumulates across its network also compounds in value over time. Processing payments for millions of businesses across virtually every industry and geography gives Stripe an unusually comprehensive view of commercial activity patterns, fraud signals, and payment behavior. This data improves the effectiveness of products like Stripe Radar, which in turn makes the platform more attractive to businesses that need reliable fraud protection. The scale of the network makes each individual product better, which attracts more businesses, which increases the scale of the network further. What Stripe reveals about the digital economy is something that runs through many of the most durable businesses built in the last 2 decades. The infrastructure layer, the pipes through which commercial activity flows, is often more valuable and more defensible than the activity flowing through it. Merchants take the risk of building products and finding customers. Platforms take the risk of building audiences. But the infrastructure that connects buyers to sellers and moves money between them sits beneath all of it, collecting a small percentage of everything, at enormous scale, with very high reliability. Every business that processes a payment through Stripe is paying a fraction of a % on every transaction. Individually, those fractions are invisible. Collectively, across millions of businesses and hundreds of billions of dollars in annual transaction volume, they represent one of the most efficient revenue models in modern technology. The payment clears, the fraction moves, and the infrastructure that made it possible collects its share, quietly, every single time.